I hated my stepmother, but one sentence I overheard changed everything. My name is Emily Carter, and I am 18 years old now, but this story happened when I was 15, back when I still believed that once someone important leaves your life, your heart can never truly open for anyone else again. My mother died when I was 9, and after that, our home in Maplewood never felt the same. My father tried his best to take care of me, but no matter how hard he worked or how often he told me everything would be okay, there was always a silence in the house that made everything feel incomplete. Then one evening, while I was sitting in the kitchen doing homework, my father told me he had met someone and that he was getting married again. Her name was Claire. The moment he said it, I felt like something inside me closed completely, because all I could think was that no one had the right to step into my mother's place. And no matter who this woman was, I had already decided that I would never accept her. When Claire moved into our house a week later, she was nothing like I had imagined. She was quiet, careful, and almost too gentle, as if she already knew she was entering a home filled with memories that did not belong to her. She smiled softly when she met me and said she hoped we could get along, but I answered coldly and made it clear that I wanted nothing to do with her. At dinner, she tried to ask me simple questions about school and the things I liked, but I gave her short, dry answers and kept my eyes on my plate because I did not want to give her even the smallest chance to get close to me. Still, she kept trying. She remembered what snacks I liked after school, folded my laundry, offered to help when I had exams, and even learned how to make the hot chocolate my mother used to prepare for me in winter, which somehow made me even angrier, because it felt too personal, too close to a memory I was not ready to share with anyone else. So instead of softening, I became colder. I stayed in my room longer, avoided her whenever I could, and treated every kind thing she did as if it were proof that she was trying to replace my mother, when in reality, I was simply too hurt to understand the difference between love and loss. One afternoon, I came home and found my room cleaner than I had left it, with my books neatly arranged, and my clothes folded, and instead of appreciating it, I went downstairs and confronted her angrily. When she explained that she had only wanted to help, I snapped and told her she had no right to touch my things, and then I said the one thing I knew would hurt her the most. I told her she would never be my mother. She did not argue. She did not raise her voice. She just looked at me quietly and said, "I know." That answer stayed with me longer than I expected. A few weeks later, I got very sick one night while my father was away for work, and Claire was the one who stayed beside me the entire time, bringing me medicine, soup, water, and cold towels while I drifted in and out of sleep. At one point, I woke up in the middle of the night and saw her asleep in the chair next to my bed, still wearing the same sweater from earlier, looking completely exhausted. And for the first time, I saw her not as someone invading my life, but as someone who had quietly chosen to stay when I needed someone most. The next morning, I thanked her. It was only 2 words, but I could tell from the way she looked at me that even that small crack in my wall meant something. The real change happened a few days later, when I overheard Claire talking to my aunt in the living room. My aunt told her she was doing too much for me and that most people would have given up by now. But Claire answered in a voice so calm and honest that I still remember every word. She said, "I'm not trying to replace her mother. I just want Emily to know she is loved." I stood there frozen, feeling my throat tighten, because in that moment, every wrong idea I had built about her began to fall apart. She had never been competing with her memory. She had only been trying to love a girl who had made herself very hard to love. That night, I lay awake thinking about everything differently, from the breakfasts she made to the way she always respected my mother's photos and never once tried to remove the past from our home. And for the first time, I allowed myself to see her for who she really was. Not a replacement, not a threat, just someone who cared. Before we continue the story, Dowland, the PDF in the description and stay till the end. You'll find useful meanings, examples, and a fun quiz. A few days later, after a terrible day at school, I came home and found a slice of chocolate cake on the table with a small handwritten note beside it that said, "Bad days deserve something sweet. Claire." It was such a simple thing, but it broke something open inside me. When she walked into the kitchen and saw me standing there holding the note, I looked at her, crossed the room, and hugged her before I could talk myself out of it. At first, she seemed surprised. Then she hugged me back. And just like that, all the anger, grief, and loneliness I had been carrying for years came pouring out, and I cried into her shoulder while apologizing for all the ways I had pushed her away. She did not ask for explanations. She just held me. And somehow, that was exactly what I had needed all along. After that day, things between us slowly became easier. I started talking to her more, trusting her more, and letting her into the parts of my heart I had kept locked for so long. And one evening, when I admitted that I was afraid loving her might somehow mean betraying my mother, Claire looked at me gently and said something I have never forgotten. She said, "Love does not replace people. It makes room for them." And for the first time, I believed it. Then one Saturday morning, while we were making pancakes together and laughing over something silly, I asked her to pass me the spatula and accidentally called her Mom. The second the word left my mouth, I froze. So did she. She looked at me with tears in her eyes, but instead of making the moment heavy, she simply smiled and handed it to me as if she understood that some of the most important moments in life arrive quietly. Later that night, she came to my room and told me that hearing me call her that had meant more than I could imagine. And when I looked at her and told her she had earned it, we both cried. Now, as I get ready to leave for college, I understand something I was too young and too hurt to understand back then. Family is not only about blood. It is also about who stays, who chooses you, and who keeps loving you even when your heart is too broken to let them in. Claire never replaced my mother. She simply became the love I did not know I still needed.
In this section, I'll show you some important words from the story, their meanings, and a simple example to help you understand and use them. The word struggles means has problems. For example, she struggles to wake up early every morning. The word replace means take the place of. For example, no one can replace my best friend. The word coldness means unfriendliness. For example, his coldness made me feel sad. The word gentle means kind and soft. For example, she has a gentle voice. The word wall, around heart, means barrier or emotional block. For example, he built a wall around his heart after the fight. The word flicker means a small sudden feeling or light. For example, a flicker of hope appeared in her heart. The word misunderstood means not understood. For example, I felt misunderstood when they didn't listen to me. The word cracked means broken or damaged. For example, the glass cracked when it fell on the floor. The word silence means no sound. For example, the silence in the room felt strange. The word awkward means uncomfortable. For example, dinner felt awkward after the argument. What does struggles mean? A. Easy. B. Has problems. C. Fast. The answer is B. Has gentle. What does it mean? A. Kind and soft. B. Harsh and rough. C. Loud. The answer is A. Kind and soft. Flicker. What does it mean? A. A small light or feeling. B. Run fast. C. Throw something. Challenge yourself. Write your answer in the comments. Thank you for watching. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any new content.